we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Here we do it. All right. Hey everyone. I'm Big John, and welcome to another episode of the Diz Ability Show live. Hang on. All right. So, this week, I want to talk about some great shopping tips. Now, one thing is for sure at Disney, you won't have any trouble finding great stores because there are stores in the parks, at your hotel, at Disney Springs. So you never have trouble finding a great place to shop. Now, one thing we always say here on the channel, if you see something in one store, you might want to get it at that instant, or wait till you see it again at another store at a reasonable price, hopefully. But if you see something, you might want to get it, because you never know if they'll have it on stock again. So anyway, that's my tip. As always, if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, let me know in the chat if you're watching this live, or in the comments if you're watching this later, and I'll make sure it gets into a future episode. And now it's time for this week's Top 5. So next week, Disneyland officially turns 70, and the day after that I turned 29, but that's not important. Because there are so many, Disneyland has so many rides that are also at the Magic Kingdom. So this week, we are going to cover my top 5 rides that are at both the Magic Kingdom and Disneyland. Number 5, Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Now, I have finally said I've written this new version of the ride on both coasts. Although now, after our April trip, I have made it a rule to only ride the Florida version, because in the Disneyland version, you get absolutely drenched. And it's hard to make a video when you get completely drenched. Trust me, I now know this for a fact. But that's just my rule. You can do the Disneyland version if you want to. Hi, Catalina Barrios. Welcome in. And yeah, but yeah, it's a great ride on both coasts. I mean, of course, I miss the way it used to be as Splash Mountain, but I think this ride, the ride itself is great. Still the same ride, just new theming. Number 4, Space Mountain. All right, now, of course, this is one of our favorite coasters on both coasts. Although, we consider Space Mountain is better over at Disneyland because you have more seating on each coaster. Hi, Luca Fun Group. And last time we were there, it was during Season of the Force, which is a big Star Wars event. So at Disneyland, their Space Mountain becomes Hyperspace Mountain, which is pretty cool because it puts you right in the middle of the Rebel Alliance taking out the Death Star. It's great. And all the Star Wars music as you ride, awesome. But of course, my favorite overlay of Space Mountain in Florida will always be during Christmas time when it turns into like a holiday disco. That's my favorite version. But yeah, Space Mountain on both coasts is a great ride. Number 3, the Railroad. Now, of course, on both coasts, both Disneyland and the Magic Kingdom have a railroad because we all know Walt Disney loved trains, which is amazing. And of course, right now in Florida, the train is only going back and forth because it's not making the Grand Circle at right now, won't for a couple of years because they've started with their big transformations of Frontierland now that the rivers of America are closed. But still, the railroad is great. It is a tribute to Walt. And if Disney has any common sense, the railroad won't be going anywhere. Number 2, Peter Pan's Flight. Now, of course, on both coasts, this ride gets popular. I mean, people wait hours to ride Peter Pan. I'd be walking in Fantasyland and it's like a 3-hour wait for a 3-minute ride. That's how popular that ride is. Even sometimes with the lightning lanes. For real. And my number 1 ride that's at both the Magic Kingdom and Disneyland, the Jungle Cruise. Now, on both and I'm going to dwell more on that in just a couple minutes with Diz or Dat, but still, the Jungle Cruise is classic. The skippers are funny, and it's just a great sit down and look ride. It really is. So let me know in the chat or in the comments what your favorite ride is that's at both the Magic Kingdom and Disneyland. And now it is time for Diz or Dat. So going back to what I've said about the Jungle Cruise, again, it's a great and funny ride on both coasts. At Disneyland, it's all outdoors. And you got the ancient Cambodian shrine, the Indian elephant bathing pool is near the beginning, and you got the scene with the piranhas. And at the Magic Kingdom, it has a brief tunnel, and the elephant bathing pool is near the end. So let me know in the chat or in the comments which coast you think has the better Jungle Cruise, Diz, Disneyland, or Dat, the Magic Kingdom. And now it's trivia time. Last week, we asked who was Miguel's inspiration in Coco. Our friend Laura NM gave us the correct answer, Ernesto de la Cruz. So now here is this week's trivia time question. How many muses are in Hercules? Be the first one in the chat or in the comments with the correct answer, and you will receive 100 cool points. So, this week, Disney has announced their plans for Christmas time. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party will kick off on November 7th through December 21st. And Disney's Jollywood Nights will run from on November 8th to December 22nd. So, it, it's, and also Epcot's International Festival of the Holidays will go from November 28th through New Year's Eve. Also, they have announced the Christmas tree stroll will return to Disney Springs, and the Merry Menagerie, the puppets will return to Animal Kingdom, and a lot of the hotels will have their holiday themings, but unfortunately, due to the refurbishing at the Grand Floridian, they will not have the gingerbread house this year, which is kind of sad. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of what Disney has up its sleeve this year for Christmas time. Of course, last year during the Once Upon a Christmas Time parade, we got a completely new soundtrack, which I think is awesome. And of course at Epcot, the Candlelight Processional, which is a must if you're going at Christmas time. And Jollywood Nights had definitely raised the bar last year, because the first year was kind of a disaster, but I think last year Disney had the chance to do it right, and they did. My only criticism for Jollywood Nights is that if they would at least bring back these guys. Those guys up there, the citizens of Hollywood. If they could just bring them back, at least just for Jollywood Nights, that would be perfect. That would give me a reason to get a ticket, go down, and see and go to Jollywood. That's all you gotta do to get me down there, Disney. That's all you gotta do. But yeah, of course, the Disney holiday season is right around the corner, because next month on the 15th is the first Halloween party. So we are slowly approaching that moment, that quarter of Disney's year where it's all holidayified. So it's going to be great. Of course, I have a feeling come August 1st or 10th, we'll start to see some fall decorations, which will drive my dad nuts. And of course, we'll be attending Not So Scary in October. And it's going to be my mom's first Not So Scary. And my second. So, we're looking forward to that. And like I said, looking forward to a lot of the stuff that they see doing at Christmas time. So anyway, that's our show. As I said, if you have any questions on how to do Disney for people with disabilities, let me know in the chat if you're watching this live, or in the comments if you're watching this later, and I'll make sure it gets into a future episode. For this week's shout outs, make sure you guys check out my buddy Beth over at Best Disney Adventures. She does great live streams all the time from the parks, and I think she's moved into her new place, which I think is closer to Disney. I don't know exactly what town it is. Definitely check her out. Also, make sure you guys check out my pal Tamia over at Tamia Smiles. She posts great content on both her YouTube and her Instagram. Definitely check her out. Also, make sure you guys check out my buddy Mike over at Theme Park Meta. He does great videos from not just the Disney theme parks, but he's also been to Epic Universe. Definitely check him out. Also, make sure you guys check out Nate, aka Paging Mr. Morrow. He does great vlogs from the parks all the time, and he has been doing some family vlogs from the parks because his family is in town. And So definitely check him out. If you haven't subscribed here yet to the Big John Network, what in the Walt Disney World are you waiting for? And ding the bell for notifications so you never miss a second of the fun. And until next time, may the mouse be with you.